Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to my channel and to another scenery review. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you for the first of this week's review on the 14th of November 2022. We are in Bulgaria. This is Varna International Airport, Lima Bravo Whiskey November. It's a payware scenery by AGSim. This is version 1.1 and it's available for both the PC and the Xbox versions of Flight Simulator 2020. The download is 1.4 gig and it installs at 3.98 gig, just under 4 gigs. It's available from SimMarket and FlightSim.to, and if you go to FlightSim.to, that's where you'll find the Xbox version. It seems to be that if a scenery is out, if it's on FlightSim.to as well, then usually it's available for Xbox. I haven't yet encountered a scenery on a payware scenery, that is, available on FlightSim.to where it's not been for Xbox as well. So in many cases, those of you who look at my reviews and I'm not able to tell you about whether it's on Xbox, you go and have a look at FlightSim.to and usually if it's there, you'll find it. So I'll give you the prices, the SimMarket prices. It's €17.99, which equates to roughly $18.56 US or £15.73 UK. US and UK prices are estimates and they include VAT and tax, which may vary depending of course on the country you're in when you make your purchase. I have to say right off the bat, this airport has some of the nicest and most beautiful night lighting I've seen. The terraforming is excellent where the airport sits. It's another lovely location. You've got the sea and the coastline and the harbour out of sight to the right hand side. And I've spent a good half an hour, 40 minutes having a look around the external and internal part of this airport before I started this review, and it really is a lovely airport. It's a huge improvement over the default. As a payware version, it's got pretty much everything. Just two things I've noted: there is no internal development in any of the terminals, and the other thing that I've noticed is that the centerline lights for taxiways, which should be green, are in fact blue. They've made a mistake here where they've included the blue airfield edge lights, which should sit around the surrounds. Example here. This is where you should have blue airfield edge lights. You should not have them on the center line. These should be green. Now, unfortunately, they don't have the edge lights. They have the center line lights blue, which is incorrect. Happy to say that the runways and approach system is all as it should be as per the charts. It's actually a really beautiful scenery, which, like I said, has some of the most stunning night lighting, which we'll look at shortly. Just give you the list of features as they advertise it. 3D buildings created with high details, fully PBR textures, ground texture's been renewed, and that's evident because you can see this airport sits really well within the default scenery surrounding it. Vegetation around the airport, it looks wonderful to tell you the truth. Animated radar and windsock, I've yet to find that. An accurate slope. Again, the runway doesn't appear to be sloped, but we'll have a close look. Ships and boats around the city, glorious night lighting, which I totally agree with. A helipad, which is actually down here, and accurate ground and traffic signs. The only difference is here along the edge here, and we'll see in a minute, they've got lots of advertising hoarding signs as well, but unfortunately they're all empty. I just can't really understand why you'd include them and then leave them blank. But anyhow, those are the features, and largely they are correct. They're lovely. Right, there's the radar. Just noticed it now. That's the animated radar, and we'll have a look at the windsocks later. So there you go. Varna Airport. As usual, let's get down and talk a little history. So, Varna International Airport, Lima Bravo Whiskey November, is a public use international airport owned by the state of Bulgaria and operated by Fraport Twin Star Airport Management. They're a German company that were awarded the contract. Varna is a historical maritime capital of Bulgaria, however the actual capital city is Sofia. Varna Airport is the third largest airport in Bulgaria. It's located 6 miles or 10 kilometers from the center of Varna, near the town of AGSIM. The airport serves Varna, Golden Sands and northeastern Bulgaria. Busiest season is the end of May to the beginning of October, so in the summer it really goes a little bit crazy here. The airport's history dates back to 1916, when 2 sheds for the first hydroport in Bulgaria were built in the Piednizik area. Probably didn't pronounce that very well. It's actually present-day Chaika residential area. An irregular mail plane service was operated linking Sofia to Varna between 1919 and 1920, and it was not until 1947 that a permanent airline operation between the two cities was established. In 1946, a decision was made to build a new airport, and construction began several kilometers west of the city, near the village, which is now a large town, of AGSIM, with local people enthusiastically working on the site, together with the contractors. Construction and improvement continued throughout the years, with a new terminal built in 1972 and a new runway in 1974. In 2013, a new passenger terminal opened, and the one constructed in the 20th century was closed down. There are domestic and international flights from Varna to around 70 destinations in 25 countries, with Bulgarian and foreign airlines operating into and out of the airport. The airport itself is close to the port of Varna and the railway system, so you can see the port in the distance there, and some of the ships as well. In June 2006, the Bulgarian government awarded Fraport AG Frankfurt Airport Services Worldwide a 35-year-long concession on both Varna and Burgas airports in return for investments exceeding over 500 million euros, including a new passenger terminal by 2008. From October 2011 until February 2012, Varna Airport was closed for reconstruction of the runway, and for the time being all flights were operated into and from Burgas Airport. The airport has 3 terminals. Terminal 1, built in 1972, is now closed. Terminal 3, which opened in 2007, is used mainly in the summer season, and the newest Terminal 2 opened in August 2013. In 2016, the airport handled over 1.6 million passengers. So it's quite a substantial place, again, another really stunning location. And just off the top of my head, I mean, the developers have done a lovely job. Visually, it's wonderful. Very, very pleasing. So let's go look at runways now. Let's lower the light and have a look at runways. So Varna Airport operates a single runway, 0927, measuring 8,258 feet or 2,517 meters in length, and it's made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 230 feet or 70 meters. Now both ends of the runway feature high-intensity airfield lighting system, high-intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. And here you can see you've got centerline lighting, PAPIs on both sides, and the high-intensity lighting as well. Runway 09, and we're looking down that now, features a standard instrument landing system with Z and Y approach options. Also available are RNP and VOR approach options. And here you can see they've also got the high intensity approach lighting with the strobes, which obviously is quite useful. Varna operates a preferred or noise preferential runway system, with runway 27 used for takeoffs, which is the other end, which we'll look at in a minute, and runway 09 for landings. So given this is the ILS equipped runway with the high intensity lighting, this is used primarily for landings, so it's got exactly what you need. Let's go and have a look at runway 27. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 27, and you can see you've got end identifier lighting just as you have at the other end. There's the centerline lights, the twin PAPIs, and you've got high intensity approach lights here too, but without the strobes. So as I say, normally this runway used for takeoffs and landings at the other end. There are also nighttime restrictions between the hours of 2300 or 11 PM and 0600 local time. So that about does it for runways. Just before we close down, let me just show you very quickly this lighting anomaly that they've got wrong here. So here's a good example just before we go here of the anomaly. Here you see you've got blue airfield edge lights, just a couple here that are pretty much in the right place there. In fact, they should be closer to the grass. But if you look here, they've got blue lighting for the centre line. These should be green. If you're going to have them, they should be green, not blue. Blue lighting denotes the airport boundary, and so they're placed pretty much everywhere where the airport has a boundary. Basically, beyond the blue lights is not part of the airfield. So they should be at the edge of the taxiways, basically where the grass or any other features join the airport. There's the windsock. We're told that that's animated. We'll try and have a look later. But as I say, everything's okay here. But the two things right off the bat are the taxiway lights, which should be green, and here they're blue. And the other thing I've noticed is you've got the hoarding signs, advertising signs over here, which they've got loads of them, but they're all empty. But we'll look at that shortly. So no jetways here, and I did notice actually when I first spawned the aircraft on the outer stands, these ones here, we didn't have any pushback trucks or ground services. They seem to be only available on the inner stands, so I position myself now on the inner stands and everything looks okay. So just bear that in mind when you decide where you're going to spawn the aircraft if you're going to operate out of this airport. So that does it for runways, and let's go back to the daytime now and start having a good close look at this airport. Okay, so it's literally midday here as we start a tour from the 27 end in towards the airport. To the right there you can see the fuel farm. Here we are coming up towards a ramp. Slow down a little bit here. It's really nice. I love the way it's been created. It's weathered. There's a helicopter parking spot. You've got lots of vehicles and bits and pieces set all over the place. There's a control tower on the terminal to the right. There is no internal development in the tower. Ground markings are excellent. The vehicles, the quality of the vehicles is wonderful. And what I have noticed is there really is very little vehicle animation. So if I stop here for a minute, here on this occasion you can see we've got an aircraft on the inner stands which has got services. Now initially I spawned over here and there was nothing, no stands at all, so I'd have to start up and taxi. But at the moment now we do seem to have some services, so there may just be something you'll have to watch out for. As we continue you can see that the detail is wonderful. I love the way it's been done. The lights there, the road markings are excellent, they're clear, the foliage is lovely. Now initially as I passed over here I thought down here to the right was a fire station, which looks a bit weird place to have one, but actually it's not, and I'll show you that shortly. But I'm just going to continue here out towards the other end of the runway so you can look at the landscaping. There's the fence line which goes right round the airport, as indeed it should, and the landscaping is beautiful. Taxiways and the runway turn-off points are all as they should be. Here's the fire station. Very nicely modelled with a couple of good fire engines there. And here you can see the windsock is moving, so indeed it is animated. Let's just come and have a look at some signage here on the taxiways. So if you were to do a full-length landing and exit off the runway here, then this is where you go off. You've got taxiway denotation sign there too. And there on the other side you've got the signs denoting the runway approach before you go in. So just a very quick run across the runway there. To the left you can see the fire station. And it's just nice little, beautifully modelled there with the foliage. Here's the VOR. Again, really properly modelled and in the correct location according to the charts. So coming back across the runway to the central area, let's go to have another look. We've got these light stanchions to the right that are inclined, and you'll see why later on when we go towards the darkness hours. Just a nice example of some of the modelling here. I think this basically is a storage area where vehicles that maybe need repairs are being stored. So I'm just trying to slow this down so you can see. And the modelling is lovely. Detail is really nice on the buildings, and the whole ramp area looks very realistic. Very realistic. Lots of ground clutter, bits and pieces. As I said, very few animated vehicles. The vehicles, you can hear noises. They don't seem to be moving very much. However, the models here are good. All of the models, right down to that high lift vehicle there. There you've got security gate entry on the left there. And the whole thing looks really nice. But as I said, no internal development in any of these buildings. Nice airport sign on the top there. And you can see what another thing I like is they've completely 3D modelled the landside area and road system. It's not down to photo ground, so it looks real, looks really good. Here's a helicopter landing point. Glass screens. I mean, the whole modelling is really, really nice. And here is the fuel farm. Very nice rendition of the fuel farm here. So let's pass over landside and have a look and see what the landside part of the terminal complex looks like. Again, you can see beautiful detail and modelling, everything right down to where the grass and the foliage is. Everything is positioned nicely. There on the right you can see those advertising boards, loads of them, but they're all empty. I'm kind of wondering why they've done so much wonderful detail here, but left the signage, left all the board signs empty. But some lovely buildings, some great foliage and fauna. Car parks look good. Again, see there's another great big sign there in the middle, but it's empty, it's got nothing on it. Coaches parked there. It's probably not quite right, but you know, it works. It looks really, really nice. The quality of modelling on the outside of the buildings is really good. No complaints at all about that. It's just lovely. Little security gate down there on the right. This looks like what might be some cargo or construction area. Got some containers over there to the right and pallets. All very nondescript, but all really good. Right, so just going to pass back over the landside area so we can have a closer look at how this all looks. But it does look really nice. I love the way this is done. So passing by one of the terminals here, all of the signage is good. You've got a nice little sort of seating area there. Security entry point there. Here you've got departures and arrivals. As I said, landside, everything looks as it should be. It's great. It's just unfortunate there's no internal development in the building, but it all looks really pleasant. As you can see, the detail is pretty good actually. Some of these cars are not fully represented and some of them are. And there you can see some of the road signs which look pretty good too. But the detail is really, really nice. Right down to that little gate there. So here's the view from inside the aircraft. As you can see, I'm parked on an outer stand, and on this occasion we've got a tug here. All looks pretty good, looks really nice. Quick shot out of the captain's side, and there's the view looking from through the first officer's window. So as you can see from this shot, there's loads of detail. Beautifully crafted forestry and foliage, fauna. The roads landside look really good. There is really kind of a lack of animated traffic on the airport, and I've got them turned up, so I don't really know why that is. Lots of static vehicles and things that make the airport look as indeed as it should. But what I really like is the kind of the crispness about this. The atmosphere is very, very nice. It's just a lovely airport. And now you can see, looking from this shot here out towards the port, looking towards the east, there's the port in the distance, and you can see you've got lots of ships and bits and pieces there that they've included, and the city of Varna close. It really does look very nice. So there you go, it's a lovely airport, lots of nice detail. Let's turn the lighting down to dusk now and have a look and see how the lighting looks. Okay, 4:45 in the evening. As I've said, it's November 2022, so the light does tend to drop down a bit. And here you can see the airport ramp pretty much just as the lights have come on. Looking to the left, you've got the runway, centerline lighting, all done nicely here. As I said before, here you've got centerline lighting that should be green, but is actually blue. But looking at the ramp, here you can see what these lights do now. They actually cast the glow here and light up the area leading into these stands. To be honest, it would appear that probably these stands are places where you essentially start your engines and taxi off, no pushback as such. So probably that was the right thing generally, to park here and have no stands, no pushback vehicles. But as I said, I spawned here initially and didn't get any, and so that would be an issue for me. So I think if I was starting at this airport, I'd be spawning the aircraft away from the terminal. So here you can see we've got a fuel farm to the right. Here's the helicopter landing area, and you've got this beautiful subtle lighting, which is really, really nice. So here's what it looks like looking out of the flight deck for you. Love those big lights. They're just as they should be. They're looking out of the captain's side, and you can see some of the lighting on the static vehicles. That hangar's beautifully lit. And looking out through the aircraft towards the first officer's side, that's the view you're getting. It's very, very nice. So let's just do a pass over the airside ramp here and have a look at lighting and everything generally. It really does look good. Those lamp stands lighting up the area just as they should. It's really nice. Not an Sobo globe in sight. Some of the vehicles have lights on them. It's very, very nice. There's a really nice atmosphere about this airport. Very nice. So let's swing round to landside and have a look. And this is where generally I expect to see a SOBO globe sitting up in the sky or everywhere, but there isn't. One of the things I really like, the light poles are where they should be. They're providing the right sort of light, and I can't see any SOBO globes at all. Night lighting is very nice, some of the nicest I've seen actually, partly because there's no globes to rely on, and the lighting is correct, the ambient light is correct. Pity about the side, the advertising boards. Like I said before, you see that they've gone to this much detail to produce this landside, but they've left the advertising boards. So here you can see the terminal again. I mean, it's just lovely. Beautiful the way it's been done. Let's just head out towards the runway taxiways. So as I said, these lights should be green and not blue. We're approaching the runway here now. Entry signs, no wigwags. But again, as I said, I don't know if they exist at the real airport, so I can't really comment on that. There you've got your entry signs to the runway. There's the animated radar, which I think is a nice touch. Very nice. And then looking towards the threshold of runway 27, you've got odd bits and pieces of lights around over here. I think there's just foliage here, but you've got these two light stanchions. Again, no SOBO globes. This is one of the few airports, in fact I think it's the only one I've looked at so far, that doesn't seem to have any SOBO globes in it. For me, that's a big plus. It means that the developers have done the right job. And there's a look across the ramp. Here's my aircraft parked out on one of the stands, and all looks nice. It's really nice. So here's the fire station at dusk, which really strange. I mean, the fire station is excellent. It's in the right position. It's been nicely modelled, but there's no lighting. This really should be lit as the airport comes to life. So there you go, the lighting is very subtle, looks really beautiful. Let's turn it right down to night time now and see how much of an improvement there is in terms of the lighting. So here we are, 10 to 9 in the evening, and as you can see the sun's pretty much gone. There's the city in the distance. Here's the runway 27 threshold, and as you can see the lighting has indeed come up pretty well. There's a view from a completely dark cockpit and looking out towards the hangar. So a quick traverse across the ramp, airside, to have a look at the lighting. Here, as I've said before, you can see the centerline taxiway lights are blue and it should be green. I'd like to see that fixed, to be honest, because it's wrong, it's incorrect. Some of these vehicles here, of course, have got their orange anti-collision lights on, which looks very nice. But again, not a single SOBO globe in sight. I'm really impressed with that. Lighting is really subtle, beautifully done, and I think it helps the fact that they've modelled the terrain and the 3D modelling of the various car parks and bits and pieces here. It all fits and makes it look really good. Let's have a quick look down this road. I think we've got some signage out here. Yep, there's the airport entrance with a sign in English, and I think it's on okay, nothing on the other side. You can't see whether it's in acrylic. So we come back from landside towards this area here, and again all of the lighting is provided by the overhead lighting stanchions. Can't see any SOBO globes at all. beautifully modelled. This is the fuel farm. Part of it's lit, part of it isn't. And again, as you can see, just some really nice 3D modelling of the landside car park area, the terminal. Could do with some people, but you know, not an awful lot to criticise here because they've done a lovely job with the modelling. Nothing's left to chance. There's pretty much no photo scenery here, which I'm really pleased about. And as I said, the lighting is perfect, provided by the lighting poles. No silly globes hanging in the air. Lighting's very subtle. It's been really nicely done. Coming back to AIRSIDE. Very nice indeed. No complaints at all, it's really nice. So there you go, there was the airport at night. Let's bring it up to dawn. So 7 o'clock in the morning, as you can see, the sun is coming up. The lighting is fading, but it's still there. And there, looking towards the port, you can see the sun peeking its head above the horizon. It's a lovely shot actually. And it might be fun to take a helicopter from here and hop out to the port and see what we've got. They have added some ships and boats in the city and the harbour there, but that's really beyond the scope of this review. I'm really looking at the airport for you. And there we are, looking towards the west. Here you've got the threshold of 09. Here's the fire station, which really should have lighting, I'm afraid. It's a very important part of the airport, right next to the runway, and when the sun goes down it should be lit. Here's the BOR station. Okay, 9 AM local time and the sun is well up, and time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. It's a lovely airport. It's nicely, very nicely modelled, especially the way it's been built to fit in with the terrain. There's evidence of terraforming, landscaping. It does look really good. The foliage, trees and the fauna looks excellent. There's hardly anything out of place, even down to the roads that I've had a look at around the airport. So it's a beautiful location with some lovely modelling. And yeah, it's great. Do I think it's worth the price? Yeah, just about. I mean, there's no internal development on the terminal or the control tower. But 18 euros, and remember that includes VAT and tax. You don't have to add it, so that's probably not too bad. It's probably just about worth it. The only issues I have really, the major problem is that they've got the centerline lighting wrong. Centerline should be green, not blue. The blue relates to the airfield edge lights. Everywhere around the edge here of the airport boundary, lights are blue. The centerline taxiway lights for aircraft are green, so they need to correct that. You've got all these lovely signboards, plus one or two landside as well, but there's nothing on them. Now it may be, obviously for us pilots, we're interested in this area here. You're going to take off and land and come in and visit this airport. This is what you're going to see, so you can comfortably ignore all the rest of it here. But again, the simple fact is they've chosen to do this, but it's incomplete in my opinion. It is just incomplete. I don't mind that they've not done the inside of the terminal. That's the developer's choice. The whole airport from the outside externally looks wonderful. It fits. It's beautifully modelled. Night lighting is gorgeous, and huge advantage not having any Osobo globes sitting in the sky all over the place. That's a big plus. But to do these signage boards would just complete this. It's just not quite complete without that being done. The other problem is you've got the fire station in the right place here, very important part of the airport that's not lit during the darkness hours. That needs to be lit. But those are the only real issues really. So the night lighting is some of the nicest I've seen. It's just beautiful. You've got limited moving vehicles, but again, it's not really a big deal, and I haven't seen anything going onto the runway, which is another issue for me in many sceneries, and here that doesn't exist. So I think it's just about worth the price, certainly since the prices include VAT. The other plus is it's available for Xbox users as well. It's a really nice airport. The second major airport in Bulgaria, the other one being Sofia. And it's beautiful. Thoroughly recommend it. So this is Varna Airport in Bulgaria, Lima Bravo Whiskey November. A payware scenery by AGSim. Currently version 1.1 for the PC and Xbox versions of Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads 1.4 gigs and installs at just under 4 gigs. It's available from Sim Market. If you want the Xbox version, you get it from flightsim.to. Prices, these are the Sim Market prices, €17.99, which equates to roughly $18.56 or £15.73. The US and UK prices include VAT and tax, which of course may vary depending on the country you're in. So yeah, a lovely airport. I would like to see version 1.2 released, where they correct the taxiway lighting, make it green and not blue. I'd like to see these advertising hoards completed just to finish off this landside area. I'm not worried about the internal part of the terminal at all. I don't think it should be too much of an issue to do that. And I'd also like to see the fire station lit at night, because that's a really important part of the airport. Makes this a category 7 airport. Most international airports have to be category 6 or 7 for fire cover purposes. And the navigation aids are all correct as per the charts. There's a lot going for this. Nicely priced, nice scenery, and thoroughly recommend it. No problem at all with that. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. My name's Lee, I'm your virtual airline pilot. This is wrapping up another review of a really nice scenery, and I was sent this by AGSim. I didn't buy it. They very kindly sent it to me for review, but as ever the comments and thoughts and opinions are my own, and they've not been influenced by the developer. So let's hope they see this, and let's hope maybe they take on board some of my suggestions, and let's hope maybe we get a version 1.2. It would be really nice to see that. It would just complete the product. So thank you for joining me, folks. If you've been on the fence about this, I hope this review has helped you. Second review coming out this week, where I'll be looking at Oliver Tambo International Airport in South Africa, Johannesburg. Foxtrot Alpha Oscar Romeo. That's a scenery. It's been out for a little while now by Gaffer Simulations. We'll be doing a review of that, and later I hope to get a video out where I'm going to attempt to have a go at the new Bell 47 helicopter that's come out with the 40th anniversary release. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. This is Lee saying bye for now.